Geek Fitness.
Hey everybody, it's Robert. Welcome back to Geek Fitness. Today I want to talk about the fifth thing that I've done in my life to completely kind of change my life and my lifestyle. And to date, I've lost 68 pounds. I'm transforming my body. I'm losing fat and I'm gaining muscle. I'm also greatly improving my health. I am 50 years old. My joints no longer have pain. My skin is in much better condition. I think my blood pressure is normal. It was high. I've done this without any drugs or anything. It's just all been these six things that I've added to my life to kind of help me transform it. Now I'm still on my journey. My goal has changed from a weight goal. Originally, I set my weight goal at 190 pounds. I started this journey at 312 pounds. But I'm not using weight anymore. My goal now is to get to 10% body fat. I've never been at 10% body fat in my whole life, even when I was an athlete in high school and college. So that's really my goal. I really want to shoot for something to really give me a sense of accomplishment, to do something I've never been able to do in my whole life. And I hope you'll try to join me, whatever your goal is. So again, this is the fifth thing I'm going to talk about that I've done to change my life. The first thing I talked about was having a purpose. For me, my purpose was my family, my health, to improve my health, to gain more energy, to really, I wasn't enjoying life because I was too heavy. And my, parents just went through some serious health issues with their hearts. And I didn't want to put my family through, health scares because of my poor choices. So the first thing was having a purpose. The second thing was starting to count my calories. I use my Fitness Pal. There's lots of different apps that you can choose to use. And tracking your calories, some people can do plans where they don't have to track their calories. But for me, and for the Geek Fitness plan, tracking calories is important. Just to know how many calories you're putting in your body, to learn how many calories are in different foods as you go through that process, to learn what a proper portion size is, right? So that was very important for me to start tracking my calories every single day. The third thing was getting rid of processed foods and added sugar in my diet. I think added sugar was a big reason, and high glycemic carbs was a big reason why I had gained so much weight over the years. Just lots of breads and cereals and, foods, even foods that seemed on the surface healthy, but they're not, because today, food corporations add so much extra sugar into foods. And I think that is the biggest contributor to the obesity epidemic we have in this country today, is how much sugar we have in all the foods that we are buying that are prepackaged. Because companies have learned what the bliss point is for sugar, and that bliss point drives sales. And so most of the foods you buy that are processed have that bliss point amount of sugar, which is too much sugar. It's too much. So that was the third thing I did, is get rid of the added sugar, avoid processed foods, really work on eating whole foods. Back to basics, basically. The fourth thing that I started to do was intermittent fasting. This is not something, I talked in my last video, not something you have to do. Lots of people lose weight successfully. Lots of people lose weight and keep it off successfully without doing intermittent fasting. But for me, eating tiny meals all day long was very hard. I was hungry all the time. Intermittent fasting helped me break my sugar addiction. My body has gotten used to not eating until 1:30, 2 o'clock every day, and not eating past 8 o'clock every day. So my body's used to that. So I don't even start getting hungry until 2 o'clock now. So, since my window when I eat is much smaller now, I can really enjoy big, satisfying meals and still stay in a caloric deficit. So intermittent fasting for me has been hugely beneficial, and it's made this plan that I put together for myself highly effective and easy to do. So that was the fourth thing. All right, now we're to number 5. That's why we're doing the video. Number 5 is a no-brainer. You should all know this one, and I know you've been dreading this one, right? But it's cardio. You have to exercise, and cardiovascular exercise is very important, not just for your heart health, your lung health, but it burns calories, right? And that is very important. The more calories you burn, the more fat you're going to lose, right? Or the more food you can eat too. If I burn 500 calories every day doing cardio, I can eat an extra 500 calories a day to stay at the same, caloric deficit that I have been working on. So, or I can, keep my calories exactly the same, whatever that deficit is, and all that cardio exercise I add is going to help me get to my goal faster. I will say that cardio, though, is going to make you more hungry, right? Your body is going to want more food because you're burning more. So I would definitely highly recommend you want to start slow. You want to start with your diet first. You want to get your diet under control and your nutrition under control. All the previous steps that I've outlined, the first 4 things that I've talked about on the Geek Fitness channel, do those first, right? If intermittent fasting doesn't work for you, fine, you don't need to use that, but get your diet under control. Make sure you are in a caloric deficit. Start losing weight. You're going to lose weight without doing any exercise if you cut your calories enough. When you're going to start seeing results, your pants are going to start feeling better. You're going to start getting more energy, right? And there's going to come a time where you're going to want to move more because you have more energy and you're feeling better, right? That's when you want to start incorporating exercise and start with just walking. I just started walking. I was somebody who was a complete couch potato, right? I sat at a desk all day long. My hobby, board gaming, as you can see behind me, that's probably why you're here. You're sitting at a table, right? So it's a lot of sitting. Spending time with my family, it's laying on the couch, right? Watching TV, right? Or sitting on the couch, or sitting at the table eating. So lots of sitting and laying down. Too much. You got to start moving your body and exercising. It's going to be good for your joints. It's going to be good for your heart. It's going to be good for your health. But start slow. Start walking. If you're really, really overweight and have a hard time, right? Just walk until you start breathing heavy and stop. Increase the amount of walking you do a little bit each week. Maybe you just start walking to the mailbox every day. Do that for 2 weeks. Maybe you were like me and you got no exercise at all. So just start walking to the mailbox. And then maybe the week after that, maybe walk to the mailbox and take on taking out the trash as your chore, right? Or if you have a dog, maybe you're not walking the dog, start walking the dog, right? Or maybe you're doing those things already, right? Just start walking in your neighborhood. Do it slowly. Do it twice a week. Do whatever you can do that feels comfortable, right? And you're going to start noticing improvements in your energy, and you're not going to get tired as easily. Your breathing is going to get better and not as labored when you exert yourself. So start adding how many times per week that you do cardiovascular exercise or walking. Increase how far you're doing it and how long you're doing it, right? So slowly increase that walk. So once you've increased your walking and you're making progress, then you really want to find out physical activities that you love to do. You may have to experiment. Maybe there's a sport you used to play as a kid that you love, and you can start playing that again. Whether it's baseball or basketball or tennis, right? Or maybe you live by the water and it could be kayaking, right? Maybe it's golf or bowling, whatever physical activity you think you could enjoy that you've enjoyed in the past, start doing it again. Or start trying them out. Start trying different things. Like, lots of people don't like gyms, and I understand that. So try to do something fun. Try to do a sport or an activity. Maybe it's hiking. Maybe you've got some good hiking trails close by and you can hike. Maybe every weekend, maybe you can go do a new hiking trail and explore it, right? Maybe it's going to the mall and walking around the mall, right? Multiple times and looking at all the doing a lot of window shopping. There's lots of things. You got to figure out something that you really enjoy where you're moving your body and exercising. So is adding that cardio in at the right time and increasing how much you're doing at the right levels is going to make a huge difference for you. And the weight is going to come out quicker. Your muscles are going to start getting toned, and that's important, right? So, if you're going to just lose a bunch of weight through dieting, that's great. That is going to help your health more than anything. But you don't want to be skinny fat either, right? You want to develop some muscle tone. So exercise is going to be key to that. So find what you love. For me, what I do now is I have a rowing machine, and I know it's crazy. Maybe I'm a sadist. I don't know, but I love my rowing machine. I do it every morning, 6 days a week. I do my rowing machine. I usually do it first thing in the morning. So I am rowing when I'm in a fasted state. Now, that's not important. I don't think. I've read a lot of different studies on cardio in a fasted state versus a fed state. There's different opinions on it. It doesn't, I don't think it really matters because you're going to burn calories. I think in a fed state, I think the thing is you have more energy to go a little harder and maybe burn a little more calories. But in a fasted state, it's a direct access to your fat storage, right? Because the glucose is gone in a fasted state after you've slept all night long. And then I'm exercising, doing the rowing machine first thing in the morning. I don't have any glucose left in my blood, right? Because I having not eaten for quite a while. And so it's going to tap right in. When I'm doing that exercise, it's going to tap right into my fat stores. And it's worked very well for me. I have not been tired. I've got plenty of energy when I'm doing my rowing. I put on the radio and I listen to different channels. And I kind of time it I do usually 10 songs. So I'll hear 10 songs. I don't count commercials. If I turn on the radio and it's already halfway through a song, I don't count that song, right? So my rowing sessions, sometimes I make it past 10 and go to 12 songs. Sometimes I make it 7. So my rowing is usually between, at a minimum, 30 minutes up to an hour is what I do on the rowing machine, depending on, how I'm feeling. And I do that 6 days a week. Once in a while, I will do high intensity cardio, high intensity interval training. That only takes 20 minutes to do. And I think you get an even better workout and more fat burn doing that than the longer sessions. So the jury's out on that too. But those are things you can try and see what works best for you. High intensity interval training is where you go full speed. Like I go as hard as I can on the rowing machine for 30 seconds. And then I rest, right, for 30 seconds to a minute until I've caught my breath, and I go at full speed as hard as I can again for 30 more seconds, and then recover, right, until I can start breathing easy again, and then do it again. So I do that for for 20 minutes, and I'm done. And that kind of workout really kind of kicks my butt. And the good thing about high intensity cardio is the afterburn effect kicks in if you do high intensity cardio. So when you do that, that means for the next up to 48 hours, you're going to be burning more calories than if you didn't do high intensity interval training. It's called the afterburn effect, and that's something you could look at. So if you don't have a lot of time, I would recommend that. If high intensity training is something that you can handle, 20 minutes a day, even 3 days a week, and you're good. You're getting lots of cardio. The steady state moderate cardio, like 30 minutes to an hour on the rowing machine or an elliptical or a treadmill or a bike or walk in the neighborhood or playing tennis or whatever you really love to do. Find something you love to do and do it. Make sure it gets your heart rate up, and do it for 30 minutes to an hour. And really 3 or 4 days a week and build up from there. I don't think you need to do 6 days a week like I'm doing. I do 6 days a week of rowing, and then my day off, I walk a lot, like up to 5 miles usually. You don't need to do that. But you'll find as you get stronger and healthier and you're more energy, you're wanting to do it longer and you're wanting to add stuff. So do it. When you feel like you're ready, do it. Add stuff. Try different things. And start moving more in general is another important thing. Like now when I have a meeting in my office, I will, pick up my phone, put it on speaker, and I'll walk around my office. If it's one of those meetings where you're doing a lot of listening, and you're not having to talk so much, but even when you do talk, it's nobody even knows I'm walking around. I'm just pacing around my office, and I've got this thing that counts my steps. So I try to hit a certain number of steps every day on top of my regular exercise. You might have heard these things before when you go shopping. Don't look for the parking space that's the closest to the door. Park the furthest away that you can. So you're getting more steps, you're getting more movement, you're getting more just regular living activity, right? You start doing those little things and that stuff adds up, right? It adds up to more calories burned during the day, which means more fat that you're losing. So those little things make a big difference as well. Take the stairs instead of the escalators, right? When you're out. All those little things. All right, so I hope this was helpful. I know this is not like some revelation, and I'm sorry it's not a revelation. I know some people really don't like exercise, so that's why I'm making it clear to you that yes, exercise is important. Yes, exercise is going to help you. Yes, you will never feel better than after you start getting your body in shape. But no, I would say don't jump right into it. Don't just start doing everything at once. Don't get on a diet and then get on the treadmill every day, because you're setting yourself up for failure because you're making it too hard on yourself. Go slow. Take little steps. Slowly increase the amount of activity that you're doing over time. And that's what's really going to make a difference for you. And as you improve, you're going to want to add more, especially if you find those things that you love to do and do those things. And it might take you a while. Maybe it's curling, maybe it's some crazy sport. Maybe you want to, do the Scottish Games and throw those big logs around. Whatever it is, it could be cross training, it could be boxing, it could be jump rope. There's so many physical activities out there that you can discover and try and, find the stuff that you really like to do and do that. I hope this was helpful. My name is Robert, and thanks for watching Geek Fitness. I'll be back with the next video, which is the final number 6 thing. The 6th thing, one of the 6 things that I've done to change my life. And hopefully by the next video, I'll be down at least 70 pounds is the goal by the next video. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.